Memento mori. This means you should keep in mind that your life will come to a finish one day. Wise thinkers from long ago didn't say this to scare people. Instead, they wanted to shake you awake so you would stop acting like a robot. They wanted to show you that every single minute is precious because no one knows what tomorrow brings. Take a second to really think about that. Every person on Earth is heading toward the same final stop. Even though we know this, we act like we have all the time in the world. We push things off until later and pretend the people we care about will always be around. This lesson isn't about being afraid of dying. It's about being afraid of living without being truly there, without being brave or without caring deeply. It is about not throwing away a life that flies by just because you are bored, sleepy, or stuck doing the same old things every day. Remembering that life ends helps break you out of 3 hidden cages. First is the cage of waiting, which tricks you into thinking someday is a real day on the calendar. Second is the cage of pride, which makes you waste your power trying to impress people who don't even matter. Third is the cage of worry, which stops you from trying new things or starting over. Once you realize your time is limited, your whole world flips around. Big troubles start to look tiny. Being mad at people feels less important, and fighting over small things seems silly. Life becomes much easier to see because you realize nothing is promised to you. You only have the choices you make right now. This is where your new path begins. When you choose to make your mind stronger, your life finds a clear goal. These 7 ancient tasks are not just fancy words. They are real things you can do to fix your life from the inside, using self-control and focus. This is a call for you to take charge of yourself for the next month. Put your strength into changes that actually count and become the main character of your own tale. Only you can make this choice. Only you can make this choice. Only you have the power to change who you are. So, take a big breath, sit up straight, and pay very close attention because the hard work starts this very moment. Task 1. Pick your response. Learning to manage your feelings is a huge lesson from the wise people of the past. It doesn't mean you should turn into an ice cube with no heart. It means you need to stop letting every little thing that happens outside of you drive your life like a runaway car. Instead, you should start steering from the inside. Every single day, something happens that tries to mess with your mood. Maybe it's a giant school project that feels way too hard. Perhaps it's a fight with a friend that almost turns into a huge battle. Or maybe something unexpected happens that ruins your calm in a heartbeat. It is very common to let your feelings take over, to act without thinking, and to lose your grip on yourself. But there is one special question that changes everything. What if you could pick how you act before your feelings pick for you? That is why I want to give you a challenge. For the next few days, work on keeping your cool as if you were exercising the most important muscle in your whole body. First, just watch. Notice when you feel like snapping. Notice when your body gets tight. And notice the mean thoughts that pop into your head automatically. Next, grow the skill that makes strong people different from people who just react, the inner gap. This is a tiny pause that stops your feelings from grabbing the steering wheel. Imagine you are working on a very hard puzzle. Time is running out. You feel pushed and your chest feels heavy and tight. The old you would have flipped out, but the new you stops, watches, and takes a breath. The hard work is real, but being scared is a choice you don't have to make. You can see very clearly that there is a line between what is actually happening and the scary story your brain is telling you about it. This is where your true strength comes from. How you act is a choice, and that choice has always belonged to you. Getting scared makes you weak. Pointing fingers at others keeps you stuck. Getting mad makes it impossible to see the truth. However, staying quiet, looking at your choices, and acting with a steady hand makes room for an answer. This rule works for everything. If someone tries to annoy you, remember that nobody can mess with your feelings unless you let them. That person might try to push your buttons, but they can only touch the control board if you hand them the key. Before you say anything back, do the wise person's habit. Stop, take a breath, and look. This pause is like a fort inside of you. It is the moment where you swap a fast robot reaction for a thoughtful answer. Then, choose the action that shows the person you want to be, not the mean words your anger wants to shout out. Real quietness doesn't happen because your problems go away. It happens because you have grown up enough to stay steady on the inside, even when everything is messy on the outside. Here is a helpful example. During a loud argument, instead of shouting the first mean thing you think of, hold it back, take a deep breath, and pick words that help fix things instead of breaking them. Pick a move that solves the problem instead of making it worse. Every time you do this, you make your self-control muscle even tougher. A smart man once said the biggest win is beating your own bad habits before you fight any other battle. That is exactly how staying calm works. You master your quick feelings, and by doing that, you master your life. For the next month, promise to watch and pick your actions. When you rule your inner world, nothing outside can knock you down. When you decide who you are, no one else gets to decide for you. Task 2. Stop letting your thoughts trip you up. Pretend that every morning, right before you walk out the door, you drop 2 heavy bags of rocks into your school bag. At the start, it might not feel like a big deal, but after days, weeks, and months go by, that weight would become way too much to carry. You would end up feeling tired and weak, and every single step would take a huge amount of work. Now, listen to something that almost nobody notices. Bad thoughts work exactly like those stones. They don't look like rocks, but they are just as heavy, they pile up just like them, and they quietly wear you down just like them. These thoughts suck away your power, change how you see the world, and make you feel sad, mean to yourself, and shaky, until you feel totally worn out without knowing why. What's even worse is that you don't even see when it starts happening. You don't hear the sound of the very first rock hitting the bottom of your bag. You simply wake up feeling weighed down. Our job is to stop this habit of hurting ourselves. You would never put real rocks in your bag on purpose. So why do you let your brain carry around heavy things that you didn't even pick? Lots of times we care a lot about toys, winning, or what we want to happen, but we forget something much more important, the feeling inside of us that holds everything else up. The truth is very basic. You can change. You can learn to see how much your mind is worth and how much it affects everything you do. Bad thoughts are like tiny shadows. If you don't watch them, they grow until they look like giant monsters. For example, when there is a problem with a friend, instead of talking, you make up bad stories in your head like, they don't like me anymore, or they don't care, or I'm not good enough. None of that is real. Those are just stories made by fear that get stronger every time you say them. The same thing happens at school or work. You hear one small correction, and right away you think, I never do anything right, or no one will ever think I'm good. These ideas pile up like invisible stones and make the hill you have to climb look way bigger than it actually is. Almost every tough time can turn into a brain monster if we let the bad thoughts repeat over and over without asking if they are true. Being sad about a crush, failing at something, losing a friend, making a mistake, or missing a turn, none of these have to break you. But all of them can freeze you in place if you keep acting like they are going to happen again and again. Replaying your fears is like opening a door to let yourself get hurt. Because of that, for the next 30 days, break this habit. First, quit feeding your brain junk food feelings. Stop repeating sad memories as if they are rules that never change. Then, point your focus toward things that make you feel strong and happy. When you get rid of the bad thoughts, you should point your mind toward things that help you grow and give you good ideas. When you kick out the bad thoughts, you make room for a mind that feels lighter, steadier, and more sure of itself. It is like dumping the rocks out of your bag and finding out that the walk was always easier than it felt. A quick way to begin is to catch a bad thought the very second it pops up and argue with it. Ask yourself, is this actually true? Or is there another way to look at this? Doing this makes the bad feeling go weak. The monster gets smaller when you turn on the flashlight. We also need to learn how to quiet the mean voice inside, that voice that always talks about mistakes but hardly ever mentions wins. Instead of bullying yourself, learn to stand up for yourself. Think about times you were brave, smart, or tough. Everyone messes up, but everyone has moments where they are great. Getting to know yourself means seeing the whole picture, not just the parts where you tripped. When you look deep inside, you find a version of yourself that is stronger and more honest. The trip isn't a straight line, but it shows a secret that most people miss. Being strong on the inside doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from having the guts to keep going, even when you make mistakes. The old wise teachers show us how to change how we see things, what we care about, and most importantly, how we treat ourselves. A writer named Montaigne once said that nothing is heavier than a thought we carry around for too long. That is exactly what we are learning here. How to let go. If you are ready to try this in your own life, show it by writing "I will do this" in the comments. This simple move can be the start of a huge change because a light mind sees further, walks with a clear path, and builds a future that used to seem impossible. Task 3. Practice letting go of stuff and feelings. This goal is about teaching yourself how to live without something you think you absolutely must have. You aren't doing this to look tough to other people, but to prove to yourself that you aren't a prisoner to anything on the outside. True freedom starts when you snap the chains you didn't even know you were wearing. It could be something tiny, like your favorite candy, or something bigger like the many hours you spend scrolling through apps on a phone. The plan is basic. Exercise your self-command, which is one of the best kinds of freedom a person can ever win. Picture yourself putting away something that makes you feel cozy and happy. At first, it might feel like you are losing out, or like you are missing something fun. But what we are building here isn't loss, it's inner power. It is learning how to walk without needing a crutch to hold you up. It is the bravery to stand on your own 2 feet without leaning on things that are easy. When you choose to go for a few days without that thing you are used to, you are doing something most people are too afraid to try. You grow your toughness, make your willpower stronger, and find out that real power comes from saying no on purpose. Every time you choose to be a little bit uncomfortable, it sharpens your brain, makes your heart steady, and wakes up parts of you that were asleep. This task isn't just about putting a toy away for a while. It is about flipping the switch, so you stop being chased by your cravings and start leading them instead. This builds a version of you that is more grown-up, clear-headed, and independent. Now, think about this even more deeply. We aren't just talking about things you can touch or habits people can see. We are also talking about feelings, scares, and ways of acting that you have carried for so long they feel like part of your skin. Look at that shy or shaky feeling that often stops you from moving forward. It doesn't yell, it whispers. But that whisper can freeze you in place. It won't work. People will laugh. What if you mess up? That shaky feeling is like a heavy ball tied to your ankles. Over the next month, every time it shows up, imagine untying the string and letting it drop to the floor, leaving behind what doesn't belong to you anymore. This challenge isn't just about fighting a habit. It's about getting free from something that is clearly blocking your path to growing up. Many times we carry bad feelings like we are caught in a spider web we can't see. We know they hurt us, but we stay there anyway because it feels safe to stay with what we know, even when what we know causes us pain. Wise people called these golden handcuffs. They look pretty on the outside, but they break you on the inside. When you dare to live without these ties, you find strengths you never knew were there. You realize that the sting of letting go is much smaller than the long ache of being stuck in a cage. A smart man named Montaigne said we are only truly rich in the things we can lose without breaking into pieces. That is the heart of letting go. Everything that bosses you around makes you smaller. Everything you boss around makes you bigger. So, pick one specific thing to leave behind for the next few days. It could be a bad feeling, like being scared or being mean to yourself. It could be a bad habit, like waiting until the last minute, spending too much time on screens, or anything else that quietly steals your talent. Making this choice isn't about losing. It's about winning back space inside your own heart. Watch how much taller you stand when you drop what isn't helpful. This is the very first move toward a huge shift. It is learning that you don't have to carry every single thing, and that you get to pick what stays and what goes. By saying yes to this goal of letting go of things and feelings, you are taking a firm step toward being your own boss. You find out that many things you thought you needed were just noises wearing masks, and that the things that actually make you powerful don't feel heavy, don't tie you up, and don't stop you. They help you grow. Training your self-command is training how to be the master of your feelings, your urges, and your own story. So I'm asking you, what do you choose to leave in the past? What will be your first move toward a life that is more free and wide awake? Every time you let go of something old, someone stronger is born. Task 4. When everything helps you grow, nothing can stop you. There is a way of thinking that is so strong, so deep, and so rare that only a few people in history have truly learned how to live by it. It is the ability to use every single thing that happens, the good things, the unfair things, the surprises, and even the painful things, as fuel to become better. This isn't just a nice saying, but something you do every single day. The wise thinkers of long ago called this active toughness. It means not just putting up with life, but changing it from the inside. It means not running away from what happens, but changing what it all means to you. Think about this. Things come to you every day. Texts, grumpy moods, people being late, difficult problems, other people's ideas, mean words, things you have to do and surprises you never asked for. And without knowing it, a huge amount of your energy goes out the door trying to handle things that you never had control over in the first place. But there is a different way to live, a strong, wise, and uncommon way. It happens when you make a grown-up and clear choice. I will turn everything that comes to me into something that makes me better. Imagine an old water wheel turning next to a river. The water flows past, clean or dirty, calm or fast. It doesn't matter. It hits the flat parts of the wheel, moves the machine, and creates power. You become that wheel. Nothing is wasted. Everything turns into movement. Everything turns into forward motion. Everything turns into strength. That is the main idea of this task. Maybe someone speaks sharply to you. Maybe a plan you made goes wrong. Maybe a friend doesn't give back the kindness you gave them. Maybe life throws something at you that knocks you down for a few minutes. But when you choose to turn everything into a step forward, your mind changes the question it asks. What is this teaching me? What does this show me about myself? What part of me do I need to make stronger now? What good thing can I build out of this? Nothing can shrink you when everything is being used to build you up. The Emperor Marcus Aurelius used to say that fire eats up anything thrown into it and turns it into a bigger flame. That is one of the strongest pictures the wise thinkers gave us. Be the fire. No matter what people throw at you, you change it. No matter what hits you, you grow taller. This is where your challenge begins. Over the next month, whenever something makes you angry, upset, disappointed, or confused, ask yourself just one question. How can this make me better? Not tougher or closed off. Better. A kinder person. If someone unfairly criticizes you, you practice standing firm. If someone tries to annoy you, you practice keeping your cool. If something is late, you practice patience. If a plan fails, you practice changing what you do. If life pushes you hard, you practice bouncing back. Nothing is useless. Nothing is a waste. Everything is the raw material you need to get better. The more you do this, the more life stops controlling you and starts shaping you. You stop looking for easy roads and start looking for strength. You stop hoping for a perfect day and start seeing the good in whatever the day offers you. That is how someone becomes unbreakable, not by running away from the hit, but by taking the power from it. For the next 30 days, carry this idea with you. Turn annoyances into patience, mean words into maturity, unsure feelings into courage, and surprises into wisdom. Because the truth is simple and deep, when everything helps you grow, you become impossible to stop. Task 5, you grow when you quit whining. Most of us grumble without even thinking about it. We wake up and start acting grumpy toward the world, the cars on the road, the people we see, the cold or hot weather, how much things cost, and every little annoying thing. This becomes a habit we do so fast that it feels like it's just how things are. But look at yourself honestly. How do you feel after you bellyache about something? Do you feel better? Or do you feel heavier, more annoyed, and more worn out? This is where many people spot the real trouble. Whining doesn't drop the heavy load, it makes it bigger. Moaning doesn't let out the pressure, it spreads it around. Complaining doesn't fix a single thing, it just highlights what was already broken. And this is the toughest part to see. Every tiny grumble seems like no big deal, but when you add them all up, they suck away your power, cloud your brain, and make your day feel way harder than it actually is. That is why your goal starts right here. For the next month, decide not to let whining boss your mouth around. This isn't about hiding your feelings or acting like everything is perfect when it isn't. It is about not giving your voice away to the fast urge to pick apart everything around you. Every time you complain, you give the problem more strength. It is like pouring water on a weed that you don't want to grow. It is like stepping into sticky mud. The more you keep going the wrong way, the more stuck you get. And you know how it goes. It starts with one little moan, and before you know it, you are grumbling about the whole day. This happens because whatever you look at most gets bigger in your mind. A wise ruler named Marcus Aurelius said that our lives are painted by our thoughts, and the words we speak show those colors to everyone. Sometimes we don't even notice we are thinking in a way that hurts us, but the things we say out loud show exactly what is going on inside our hearts. So here is the how-to part. How do you stop this cycle? Use something simple. Pick an object like a bracelet, a ring, or a rubber band. Every time you catch yourself getting ready to whine, move that object to your other hand or a different spot. This tiny move pulls you back into the right now. It breaks the robot-like habit and gives you a second chance to pick a better answer. When you quit complaining, you start to see things that were hidden before, the tiny, happy moments, and the little things you missed because your mind was stuck on what made you mad. A new kind of lightness shows up, the kind that happens when you stop feeding the things that make you feel bad. This is when many people finally understand the truth. You have way more power over your own joy than you think. Whining plants seeds of bad moods, but stopping the whining plants seeds of being thankful. And that changes how you see the world. If it starts raining, you enjoy the cozy weather. If a friend is making too much noise, you put on some music you like. If things get expensive, you fix your habits instead of getting upset about things you can't change. None of this is about pretending life is a fairy tale. It is about choosing where to spend your energy. Every word you say has weight. Every word you speak builds your world. And when you complain, you are training your brain to hunt for exactly what you don't want. If you can fix something, go fix it. If you can't fix it, change how you think about it. But don't give your inner peace away to a grumble. Take on this 30-day challenge. It isn't just an idea. It is a real, hands-on way to change things. Managing your words is the first move toward managing your whole life. If this sounds right to you, make a promise right now and say, "Today I am stopping the whining cycle." Task 6. Feel thankful all day long. Think about the amazing power you have to use your brain, feel emotions, have fun, and care for others. This simple thought is where a real trip toward being thankful starts. Like the smart old teachers used to say, Marcus Aurelius told people that when they wake up, they shouldn't just think about their chores. Instead, they should think about the magic of just being here. When you take a big breath, feel the energy moving through your whole body and realize what a huge treat it is to be alive. Even deeper than those words is the idea that none of what you have is promised to stay. Every time the sun comes up, it is a gift from the world, not something you are owed. When you really feel this in your heart, even the quiet time in the morning starts to feel like a special surprise that you almost forgot to notice. It is normal that when you are sad or having a hard time, your brain gets stuck on what is missing, what hurts, or how things could be better. We end up forgetting to love the things that we used to wish for and now actually have. Your brain gets used to things very fast. Something that felt like a miracle at first starts to feel boring once it happens every day. That is why this goal of being deeply thankful is so important. It isn't about saying thanks just to be polite. It is about really feeling the worth of the things that keep you going every day. This includes the things you never even asked for, but that keep you standing tall, like the air moving in and out of your chest or your body working quietly to keep you healthy. The simple and big fact is that you made it this far. People use the word gratitude a lot, but they usually don't mean it very deeply. That is why this task asks you to go further and look through every part of your life for real reasons to say thank you. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It is about remembering that even when things are scary or hurt, there is always something loyal by your side. This could be the friends who help you when you feel down, or the tiny happy bits that make your day bright. Everything is a chance to be thankful. You should even be thankful for yourself, for your hard work, your small wins, the tough times you got through, and the fact that you kept going even when you were super tired. Think about the simple joy of a warm drink in the morning. This moment, which we usually ignore, can make you feel very thankful when you notice how cozy and nice it makes you feel. In the same way, a real talk with a buddy or a little help from someone you work with are like little lights that life puts on your path, even if you aren't looking for them. Start looking at your world this way, searching for that warm feeling inside you. Being thankful doesn't just happen on its own. It is a choice you make every day to see what stays good, even when the world changes. It is a way to teach your brain to go back to what really matters. For the next 30 days, I want you to make being thankful a part of your daily life. Start right this second. Write down something you are happy to have, One reason, even if it seems tiny, that makes your heart feel good. Typing this out isn't just joining a game, it is fixing how you see the world. It is teaching your brain to find the light even on the gloomy days. As time goes by, doing this makes you more there. It helps you see life more clearly and brings you closer to having a wise mind, strong on the inside no matter what is going on around you. As a man named Cicero once wrote, "Being thankful isn't just the best good thing you can be, it is the mother of all other good things." When you see what you already have, you start to live with a clear head, a big goal, and more love. Task 7. Stop distracting yourself from your own life. There is a huge difference between rest and escape, but most people confuse the two. Rest restores you, escape numbs you, and many modern distractions are not there to help you recover. They exist to keep you away from yourself. Constant noise, endless scrolling, background videos, and non-stop stimulation create a life that feels full on the outside, but empty on the inside. The ancient Stoics understood something simple and uncomfortable. People who cannot sit with themselves look for noise, not because silence is dangerous, but because silence asks questions that demand responsibility. Distraction slowly steals your attention, and attention is life in its most concentrated form. Wherever your attention goes, your life follows. When you lose control of it, you begin to live reactively. You wake up responding instead of choosing. Days pass, energy drains, and a quiet frustration grows. Not because you did nothing, but because you spent your time on things that didn't matter. This task is about reclaiming your attention as something sacred. The practice? 30 days. Choose one fixed block of time each day, 20 to 40 minutes, with zero distractions. No phone, no music, no videos, no notifications. Just you and a single conscious activity. Writing, thinking, walking, planning, or reflecting. At first, your mind will resist. It will feel restless, bored, uncomfortable. That is not failure. That is withdrawal. You are breaking the habit of running from yourself. The goal is not productivity. The goal is presence. A mind trained to tolerate silence becomes steady in chaos. A person who controls attention cannot be easily rushed, manipulated, or pulled apart by the world. The Stoics didn't fear silence. They used it as a forge. Do the same. Task 8. Live each day as if you will not get a second one. Many people say they understand that life is short. Very few live like it. You delay important conversations. You tolerate situations that drain you. You postpone changes you already know you need to make. You act as if time will politely wait for you to feel ready. It won't. Memento mori is not a dark thought. It is a focusing one. The Stoics used it to cut through nonsense. When you remember that today could be your last ordinary day, certain things instantly lose importance. Ego softens. Petty conflicts shrink. Fear of judgment weakens. What remains is clarity. This task is not about panic or urgency. It is about precision. When time is limited, you choose more carefully. You stop wasting energy on things that don't deserve it. You act with intention instead of hesitation. The practice, 30 days. Each morning, ask yourself one question and answer it honestly. If today were my last normal day, what would actually matter? Then act accordingly. Speak the truth you've been avoiding. Do the work you keep postponing. Step away from what is clearly harming you. Show up fully in at least one meaningful action per day. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. You need to stop living as if you have unlimited tomorrows. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you could leave life at any moment. Let that guide what you do, say, and think. When you live this way, you don't become reckless. You become intentional. Time is not your enemy. Forgetting its value is. Live today as if it counts, because it does. Task 9. Be a go-getter. Being a go-getter is the line that divides people who just wish for things from people who actually make things happen. Thinking is good and wanting things is nice, but nothing gets better until you start moving. Life gives back to people who take action, not just people who have good ideas. Imagine you are standing in front of your own life, like it's a giant puzzle. You will see that you can't control some of the pieces, but many other pieces are waiting for your hands to move them. That is exactly where your power begins. You might not get to pick the house you live in, but you get to pick how you take care of the space you have. A tiny room can become a safe fort. A plain room can become neat and tidy. A small room can become a real home. This is because feeling proud of yourself doesn't come from where you are, but from what you do. Maybe you don't own the fanciest toys or the coolest clothes, but you can always wear good manners, kindness, and a sure heart. Feeling important never depends on your outfit. It depends on how you act. There are times you can't fix a problem, like when someone you love gets sick, but even then, you still hold something very powerful in your hands, being there, helping out, and showing love. Sometimes that is the only thing that keeps a person from falling apart inside. If you are trying to start a business with no money, you can still do a great job, be super helpful, and make people feel special. Even with basic food, you can cook with extra care. Even in tough places, you can be honest, hardworking, and a pro. In every single situation, there is always one small thing that only you can do. And when you do it, things shift. Hard times stop being walls and start being the dirt where your strength grows. Making big choices is never easy. It takes guts, being responsible, and sticking to your word. It feels like speaking in front of the whole school for the first time, trying a new sport, or saying goodbye to a friendship that doesn't work anymore. These moments make your life bigger because they push you out of your easy chair. When you say yes to hard things, you build something that no one can see but everyone can feel, your inner wall. This wall is built stone by stone with your choices, your work, your rules, and your truth. This is the tower that keeps you standing tall when everything outside is crashing down. In this world, there will always be people who build things up and people who break things down. There are people who use their good values like strong pillars, and others who, because they are scared or mad, let their own foundations rot away. This is where your move matters most. You get to choose. Will you make your inner castle stronger? Or will you let it fall apart because you didn't do anything? This choice decides where you end up. A wise man once said that being brave is the highest way to grow up. It means being willing to act even when you are shaking. That is exactly what makes a person with a can-do attitude different. They act not because the fear went away, but because they have a goal that is bigger than the fear. If these ideas helped you see things in a fresh way, give this a thumbs up. Join the group and tell others about it. Here, we keep getting tougher and learning together. Thanks for watching.